It was supposed to be the masterstroke that would change the course of World War I, a swift attack, an open passage to Russia, and the collapse of the Ottoman Empire. Instead, it became one of the most disastrous campaigns of the war, a brutal, drawn-out struggle that cost thousands of lives. This is the story of the Gallipoli Campaign, a strategic gamble that failed. By 1915, World War I had turned into a stalemate on the Western Front. The trenches of France and Belgium had become slaughterhouses where neither side could gain an advantage. Seeking an alternative path to victory, the British War Cabinet, led by First Lord of the Admiralty Winston Churchill, conceived a bold plan: attack the Ottoman Empire through the Dardanelles Strait and seize Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul. The logic was simple: control the strait, cut off the Ottomans from Germany, and open a vital supply route to Russia. If successful, the campaign could knock the Ottomans out of the war entirely. The first phase of the operation was purely naval. On March 18, 1915, a fleet of British and French warships entered the Dardanelles, bombarding Ottoman forts along the coastline. At first, it seemed the attack was working. But then, disaster struck. Turkish artillery and cleverly placed sea mines devastated the Allied fleet. 3 battleships, HMS Irresistible, HMS Ocean, and the French ship Bouvet, were sunk. The Ottomans, under the brilliant leadership of General Lehman von Sanders and the soon-to-be legendary Mustafa Kemal, held firm. The naval assault had failed. With the fleet in shambles, the Allies turned to Plan B, an amphibious landing. But they underestimated the sheer difficulty of the terrain and the resolve of the Ottoman defenders. On April 25, 1915, thousands of British, French, and ANZAC, Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, troops landed on the Gallipoli Peninsula. But nothing went as planned. At ANZAC Cove, soldiers expecting a flat beach instead found themselves staring up at towering cliffs, with Turkish machine guns waiting above. As soon as they hit the shore, chaos erupted. The bullets came in waves, the water turned red. Within hours, thousands lay dead or wounded. At Cape Helles, the British faced a similar nightmare. Poorly coordinated landings, strong defensive positions, and logistical failures meant that every inch gained came at an enormous cost. Within weeks, the campaign became a horrific trench war, much like the Western Front. The heat was unbearable. Flies swarmed the corpses. Dysentery and typhoid ravaged both sides. Soldiers wrote home, describing the unbearable stench of rotting bodies baking in the sun. Meanwhile, Mustafa Kemal, who would later become Turkey's founding father, rallied Ottoman troops with fierce determination. His famous words, "I do not order you to fight, I order you to die," became a symbol of unwavering resistance. The Allies launched multiple offensives in August, including the Battle of Lone Pine and the disastrous attack at Suvla Bay. But each assault met the same fate: heavy casualties, minimal progress. By late 1915, the reality was clear. Gallipoli was a lost cause. The British government, under mounting pressure, decided to withdraw. Remarkably, the evacuation was the most successful part of the entire campaign. Under cover of darkness, Allied troops slipped away without the Ottomans noticing. By January 1916, the campaign was officially over. The cost of the Gallipoli campaign was staggering. The Allies suffered over 250,000 casualties, while the Ottomans lost roughly the same. It was one of the defining moments of the war, one that changed nations and histories forever. For Australia and New Zealand, Gallipoli became a symbol of national identity and sacrifice, commemorated every year on ANZAC Day. For Turkey, it was a moment of triumph that paved the way for Mustafa Kemal's rise as a leader and the eventual birth of modern Turkey. And for Winston Churchill, it was a career-ending disaster, at least for a time. He resigned from the Admiralty, humiliated. Yet, decades later, he would rise again as Britain's Prime Minister in World War II. So, what went wrong? Poor planning, intelligence failures, and underestimating the enemy all played a role. The Gallipoli campaign serves as a timeless lesson in military strategy, one that history would never forget. In the end, Gallipoli was more than just a failed invasion. It was a moment that shaped nations, ended careers, and proved that war, no matter how strategic, is never predictable. What do you think was the biggest mistake of the Gallipoli campaign? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more incredible stories from history. Thank you for watching.